Hello there and welcome to this short tutorial on some of the basics of function machines. Okay, and we're going to look at what happens when we have inputs into a function machine and then we get outputs at the other end. So we put numbers in, then we do an operation or two operations or as many operations as we want. And by operations I mean times, divide, add, subtract, all of the four mathematical operations. So let's take an example here, this one at the top. We've got the function machine says to multiply by 2 and then add 1. Okay, so we put numbers in, we call them the inputs. We're then going to multiply by 2 and add 1. And finally we get our output. The way we're going to record that is in a table. So we're almost generating a sequence here because the inputs we're using, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we can go on for as long as we want. But by using those first numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're generating a sequence. So the first number in, our first input is 1. We multiply it by 2. Well, 1 times 2 is 2. Then add 1. So if I have the number 1 in here, times by 2, we get 2. Then add 1, I get 3. And that is my output. So in there, I'm going to put the number 3. Quickly work out in your heads, if you can, what's going to be the output if we have 2 as the input. So 2 is going in, multiply by 2, then add 1, and you should have got 2 times 2 is 4, then add 1 is 5. 3, let's put it in there, let's go quick. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And there is my table of values for inputs and outputs into a function machine. All pretty straightforward stuff. We're just recording all of these outputs in a sequence there. Let's have a look at a slightly more complicated example here. So if I have this one, so we can complete outputs for the function machines. We're now going to be given some outputs and we want to know what was the inputs for this two-step function machine. Well, we've got to think here. Let's look at the top ones. When I have 2 plus 3, I get 5. When I have 4 plus 3, I get 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. If to get from the input to the output I add 3, how do I get from the output back to the input? Well, I do the inverse, the opposite. So I subtract 3 to go backwards. Let's have a look at this one. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. If I multiply by 2 to go from the input to the output, coming back the other way, I do the opposite. I divide by 2, the inverse. And the same here, when we've got a two-step process, if I want to know what has been multiplied by 2, then add 4, well, I've got to work back the other way and do the inverse, the opposite. So first of all, I'm going to subtract 4, because that's the opposite of plus 4, and I'm going to divide by 2. So let's take this top one. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Let's just check it works. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. Let's try the next one. 18. Take away 4 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Let's check it works. You can always check these things work. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. We're correct. And the last one, 20 minus 4 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Check it works. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. We're right as well. Okay, there's some of the basics of function machines. I think you guys are now ready to give it a go yourselves. Good luck.